Student, today we are going to discuss blotting technique. Under this blotting technique, today we are discuss southern blotting and northern blotting. First, we will start with the principle of southern blotting. A southern blot is a method used in molecular biology for detection of a specific DNA sequence in given sample. Given sample meaning a DNA sample, maybe the genomic DNA. Southern blotting combines transfer of electrophoresis separated DNA fragments to a filter membrane and subsequent filter membrane meaning here nitrocellulose membrane and subsequent fragment detection by probe hybridization. This method is named after British biologist Edwin Southern, who first published this technique in 1975. We will discuss the procedure and then the diagram, and after that application of this technique. So the first we need to restriction endonucleases are used to cut the high molecular weight DNA strands into a smaller fragment. That means if you have isolated DNA from a cell, then that DNA directly, the whole DNA, you are not running for electrophoresis. What you are doing a restriction digestion. A given set of restriction enzyme you have chosen, and you are allowing the DNA to, the restriction enzyme to digest the isolated DNA fragment, and that one you are now doing an electrophoresis in agarose gel. The DNA fragment are then electrophoresed on an agarose gel to separate them by size. It depends on the size of the band. You need to choose the percentage of agarose gel. 1% agarose gel preferably being chosen. If some of the DNA fragments are larger than 15 kb, that means 15,000 base pair, then prior to blotting, the gel may be treated with an acid such as dilute hydrochloric acid. What is the meaning of that? That if the genomic DNA which you have isolated is very big, and then after digestion also there is a chance that you may not get a desired, the fragment you want to make much more break or nick inside the DNA. That's why you are treating with the HCl, 0.1 normal HCl, that will introduce nick in the strand. Preferably we do the alkaline transfer method. The DNA gel then placed in an alkaline solution. Typically we treat with sodium hydroxide to denature the double-stranded DNA. What is the next procedure? After doing this denaturation, then we are going to transfer. Transfer meaning the genomic DNA which is electrophoresed inside an agarose gel, that DNA we wanted to transfer to a nitrocellulose membrane. So for that, a sheet of nitrocellulose, alternatively there is a nylon membrane also, is placed on top of the gel. Now there are many procedures you can apply. One very common procedure is that capillary rising. So you need to apply pressure evenly to the gel to ensure good and even contact between the gel and the membrane. So the transfer buffer is 20x SSC. SSC saline sodium citrate buffer is used by capillary action from a region of high water potential to a region of low water potential. DNA, what will happen, binds to the membrane due to the negative charge of the DNA and positive charge of the membrane. So imagine you are keeping your gel, on top of the gel you are keeping the nitrocellulose membrane, and then you are keeping series of filter paper and towel. On top of that you are using a very high weight, so that the complete setup you have arranged, and the buffer you are using that is SSC saline sodium citrate buffer. What will happen, the gel where you put the gel, bottom you have put a filter paper. That filter paper is soaked actually in the buffer. Now what will happen, because of this capillary rise, the filter paper will soak this buffer SSC, that will pass through the agarose gel. From the agarose gel, where it will go to the membrane. From the membrane, what will happen, this entire buffer will be soaked because of the filter paper you have kept. So it will rise from bottom to top. That's why it is called a capillary rising method. Once the DNA will transfer to the nitrocellulose membrane, After maybe overnight transfer, the membrane is then baked in a vacuum or regular oven at 80 degrees centigrade for 2 hours. Okay, or for 5 minutes you can do UV cross-linking. What is the reason for that? It is a permanently attach the transferred DNA to the membrane. So you transfer the membrane by capillary action. After that, you are allowing the DNA whichever transferred from agarose gel to membrane now should be permanently bound. So for that, you either can bake the membrane at 80 degrees centigrade, or you can do an UV cross-linking. Once this is done, your membrane is now ready for the hybridization. Remember, in regular practice, what we do, we use a pre-hybridized solution for 1 hour and we incubate the filter with the hybridization solution. And what is the reason? To reduce the non-specific binding. By the time we prepare the probe, what is a probe? Probe is an oligonucleotide, maybe 20 base pair length or maybe more than that also. So that we are labeled by using either radioactivity like P32, or you can label with some fluorescence dye, okay, or some enzymatic linked with some enzyme also. Now this probe, what if it is a radioactive probe? So we use a hybridization solution and we incubate at certain temperature with the membrane. The membrane is then exposed to a hybridization probe, a single DNA fragment with a specific sequence whose presence in the target DNA is to be determined. The probe DNA is labeled so that it can be detected. So probe is a small oligonucleotide. The beauty of this thing is that it should have a complementary sequence where in the entire the DNA which you have electrophoresed, that should have a complementary sequence. That's what we are looking for. So if it has, so it will go and bind. Probe can be double-stranded, probe can be single-stranded, DNA, RNA probe also you can use. But before applying, we need, if it is double-stranded probe, you need to heat denature and then add with the hybridization solution. And this hybridization we do at particular hybridization temperature in an oven. After hybridization, we need to remove the probe we need to remove the non-specific binding of the probe. The probe may attach with the specific sequence where it is finding its complementary sequence present, but the probe can non-specifically also bound some other sequences. So after hybridization, excess probe is washed from the membrane, typically using SSC buffer and 0.5% SDS. And the pattern of hybridization, how we are going to visualize by X-ray film, by autoradiography in the case of radioactive or fluorescence probe, or by development of color on the membrane if a chromogenic detection method is used. That means if there is an enzyme we have attached that we need to give a substrate, then the product will form, that definitely given color. So carefully see this diagram. In the exam you definitely draw the diagram correctly. So this is a gel where we are doing an electrophoresis. The first lane showing the labeled DNA of known size. This is a marker lane whose size you know, and the other three are unlabeled DNA cut with a restriction enzyme. So this given a smear kind of appearance. If it is a genomic DNA, you are cutting with a known restriction enzyme, generally it gives a smear kind of appearance. Now once this is done, see the tray. Below some filter paper is there. After that you have sponge. They have mentioned sponge. We have done in filter paper. So after that you have your gel. On top of the gel, the green color one is the nitrocellulose paper, and on top of the nitrocellulose membrane there are so many stack of paper towel, filter paper, cloth, anything is okay. So what will happen, the buffer you kept in the tray, so here the sponge will first soak the buffer and that will transfer to the gel, from the gel to membrane, and then the filter paper will soak. So this is called a capillary action. Once this is done, you take out. So once the transfer is complete, generally it is an overnight transfer. If this is a capillary rise, if the DNA is big size, so you need to take the filter, this main membrane out. Then you need to remember, which is not in the diagram, you need to cross-link, UV cross-link, or permanently you need to fix the band here. After that, you have to add the pre-hybridization solution, remember. Then you are adding the hybridization solution with the radioactively labeled probe, remember this thing. Hybridization solution with probe. So once the hybridization is done, then you are definitely washing in a stringent condition, maybe multiple time washing you may need to do. After that, you are exposing with an X-ray film, and we are going for an autoradiography. After developing the film, you may find this is the band. So if the probe is having a complementary sequence which is present in the electrophoresis, the genome you have taken, which you have cut with the restriction enzyme, it has any complementary sequence, you may see the band. And these are the position of the label marker. What is the use of this one? You can compare and you can get an idea of the size of this band. Now there is a formula by which we can determine what will be the temperature for hybridization. So the GC content of the probe as well as the length of the probe you can calculate by using this formula, and the temperature you can control. So generally 42 degree we use for hybridization temperature. Now application of Southern blot technique, it is gene discovery. Before PCR, this was the only method for gene discovery, mapping, evolution and developmental studies, diagnostics and forensics, that means DNA fingerprinting study, identification of the transferred gene in transgenic individual, that means any gene discovery, allow the investigator to determine the molecular weight of a restriction fragment and to measure relative amount in different sample. You can compare one lane to another lane by seeing the intensity of the band to detect the presence of a particular bit of a sample DNA in a sample. Very minute amount of DNA also can be detected. Analyze the genetic pattern which appear in person's DNA. Now there are many things. Identify structurally related genes in the same species or among other species. So one gene from bacteria, you can check it in yeast, you can check it in mammals also. Understand various biological process, that means discovery of RNA splicing, genomic rearrangement to form the antibodies and T cell receptor, etc. Construct a restriction map of specific gene by performing restriction enzyme digestion to the specific gene. A physical map of a genome of an organism also you can do by using this technique. The next technique we are going to discuss, that is called Northern blot. The principle of Northern blot is that the Northern blot or the RNA blot is a technique used in molecular biology research to study the gene expression by detection of RNA in a sample. Okay, so you have isolated RNA from the sample and you have a probe, which would be RNA probe or some cDNA probe. You are looking for whether that RNA is present or not. Okay, that means RNA present meaning from DNA to RNA we call the transcription. That means the gene is expression level we can study. Northern blot technique was developed in 1977 by James Alvin, David Kemp and George Stark at Stanford University. The name has given with the comparison with the Southern blot. If Southern we refer to DNA, so Northern we refer for RNA. Now, what is the method? It starts with extraction of total RNA from a homogenized tissue sample or from cell. So, you know, the eukaryotic RNA, they are having mRNA, they are having poly A tail, so you can use oligo DT, so in order to only isolate the mRNA for eukaryotes. The RNA samples are most commonly separated on agarose gel. Remember this part very carefully. So it's separated generally for this Northern blot. We use agarose gel, and that contain formaldehyde as the denaturing agent for RNA to limit secondary structure. Why I need the denaturing reagent for Northern blot? Because RNA, because they are single strand, they form any intramolecular hydrogen bonding structure. So these are to restrict that intramolecular hydrogen bond structure. So if it is they're folded inside, then you cannot detect any site. So your gene of interest may be hidden. So that's the reason what we are doing. We are treating with the gel itself contain formaldehyde. So whichever sample we are running, that is already denatured and expecting run as a single line. And remember, RNA, there is no question of restriction digestion, directly isolation and then run. See the steps here. Sample, we are loading the sample in an agarose gel. Remember, the agarose gel should contain denaturing reagent. If it is a polyacrylamide gel, then definitely it is urea. Blotting on nitrocellulose membrane, then the procedure is same. After blotting, what you are doing, this is also a capillary rising method you can do. Then also you need to treat with the pre-hybridization solution, followed by the hybridization with the probe, and then washing sequence, a step by washing. It is not one washing, multiple time washing, stringent washing to remove the unbound probe, non-specific binding, then detection by autoradiography. The diagram is also showing the same thing. You isolated the RNA, you directly load in a gel. Gel should contain formaldehyde. Then you are going for a blotting. The blot you are taking, doing the pre-hybridization, and then washing, and then going for the labeled probe, and then detecting the band. Now, application of Northern blotting, it observe a particular gene's expression. So remember, whenever we are talking about the Northern blot, it is a gold standard. We consider that the gene is expression level when we study. This is one of the standard method technique we are using. So it also gives an idea pattern between the tissue, organs, developmental stage, environmental stress level, etc. That means one RNA expression pattern may vary tissue to tissue, cell to cell, based on environmental stress and the developmental stage. You can compare the expression pattern. It is used to show overexpression of certain genes, maybe oncogenes, and downregulation of tumor suppressor gene in cancer cells. So some of the genes boost up during cancer development prognosis, and some of the genes expression goes down. So we call them oncogene. Those expressed more, and those were downregulated, they are most likely tumor suppressor. So that expression pattern also we can study. Detecting a specific mRNA in sample used for screening recombinant which are successfully transformed with this Northern blot. So what is that? After you are doing a successful transfer of a gene, so you can study their expression pattern. Also used for studying mRNA splicing. Now, if you can compare, remember, so what are the things we are doing? RNA and DNA, this is Southern blot and Northern blotting. So, genomic DNA preparation, here for our Northern blot, it is the RNA preparation. We go for restriction digestion for genomic DNA or Southern blot, there is no question. We denature with alkali because it is a double strand. In RNA preparation, no question of alkali treatment. Then agarose gel electrophoresis. Definitely we do also here agarose gel electrophoresis, but remember we keep formaldehyde in the gel. Remember that one. DNA blotting, transfer and fixation. Here we do RNA, that fixation meaning UV cross-linking or baking. Then pre-hybridization, probe labeling, we need to label the probe. That means we need to, if the probe is a DNA fragment, so we need to prepare a probe. Prepare meaning you need to label. End labeling you can do by using polynucleotide kinase. You can random priming them. You can do a nick translation, different method by using P32. You can prepare the label probe. Then you need to treat with a pre-hybridization solution. Then hybridization, temperature is a crucial thing for hybridization. Hybridization is always with the probe. Then you wash it and then signal detection by it may be with the X-ray film, autoradiography, or if it's something other measure, you can do it. Now how it looks like the gel if it is a mRNA. So if you do an whole RNA extraction, always you will see this is a pmRNA. So this is the mature mRNA, this is the pre-HN mRNA. So after splicing, its size actually becomes small. So this is a bigger one. Before also this is a further one. This is also much more bigger than the mRNA. So this is the way we can compare how the splicing is going on by doing a Northern analysis. So thank you very much for listening. Any doubt, you can call me.